quick safety brief here. In fact, it sounds like you already saw it, but there's a few more hazards with the Bell 47 than there are other aircraft that have shrouds on them and cowlings on them. Blade tip's obviously the big hazard, tail rotor, main rotor, but that open drive shaft area for the tail rotor drive shaft, please do not get comfortable leaning on that tail boom when that's spinning, because it doesn't look like much, but it's got tons of inertia being driven from the rotors themselves.
Good morning, it's Bell 47, Foxtrot Kilo November Charlie.
Bell 47, Foxtrot Kilo November Charlie, yeah, that's right.
Foxtrot Kilo November Charlie, vicinity pad Alpha, requesting northwest route with Echo.
Kilo November Charlie, squawk 3027, contact tower 119.41 ready.
3027, Kilo November Charlie. I'll take control for takeoff here. However, this is how you take off. You basically just get a light in the skids. The manifold pressure of this aircraft is going to lift off at about 20 inches or so. So right now I'm getting myself organized, and I'm just lifting the collective and rolling out a little bit of RPM on the throttle just to make sure that the aircraft is well organized. It's getting lighter and lighter, and less of the ground is feeling my weight. And at this point, I really need to put my eyes up, because this aircraft's getting light right there. You can see that it wants to twitch and it wants to fly. So, when it's not doing anything I don't like, we're going to bring it up into the hover. Center of gravity, control response, power to hover 22 inches. In this case, we're going to maneuver off the pad with a little bit of a turn around the tail. As we head off in this direction, as a reminder, our pedals are controlling yaw. So if you want to take those pedals right now, I'm going to come off. You've got our yaw control. And for now, Chris, just let that tail kind of follow along behind us. Once we get to this concrete area, we're going to do a 360-degree pedal turn.
Echo Lima Papa, infield trigger approved. Echo Lima Papa.
It's basically a clearing turn at this point. Now, there's not much wind, there's a little bit, but you're going to feel that. It's going to resist you, and then it's really going to want to weathercock. So if you could use your left pedal, we'll do a 360-degree left pedal turn here while we look around before we get going. We'll see things like the wind direction, the traffic on final, people coming out of our pad or Campbell Helicopters or Sequoia. And then we'll tell Tower that we're in for departure. Tower, Kilo November Charlie, with traffic on final 419, requesting around the tower for the northwest route.
Kilo November Charlie, let's take up your discretion around the tower of the northwest route.
Kilo November Charlie. Okay, so you have cycling. I'm going to stand at pedals. This aircraft generally cruises about 70 miles per hour when it's cruising at 20 inches of power. That's so close.
We're only identified altimeter 3012 cruising off of the McCallum route.
Kilo November Charlie's with you on outer.
Kilo November Charlie identified.
Kilo November Charlie. Nice job, man, right off the bat. Keep it nice and relaxed on the fingers, get it on the painting muscles. But so far, really, really nice. Looks like you can probably handle more if you want. You want to have those pedals too? We're going to focus on the cycling for now.
I'll take the pedals.
Okay, so I'm easing off the pedals. In forward flight, unlike the hover, now they're controlling your ball. If it's too far out the right, step on the right pedal. Too far out the left pedal. We're just trying to keep that ball in between the two goalposts there. You'll probably find, especially when it's windy, that track and heading are two different things. But that's fine. That's the most efficient this aircraft can go through the air, is if you let it nose into the wind a little bit with your ball, but hold the track with your cycling. Fantastic. Now the collective doesn't really need too much attention. The machines that you flew, I remember the Schweitzer definitely has a throttle that you need to manipulate. Always leading on and off of the throttle. That's the thing with the lower price point machines, we become the governor. Outstanding, we've got a climb rate going, 500 feet a minute. We'll go towards Stave Lake, more to see off that way. So while we're climbing, let's turn this into a right-hand climbing turn. as we get just underneath 2,000, you'll push forward with your cyclic to lower that disc attitude. Try and find more of a cruise attitude instead of a climb attitude. And when I'm talking about attitude, I'm really talking about the disc, the window, everything we see versus the horizon. Nice, and I like that idea, being on the right-hand side of this valley coming up. So right about there, Chris, start to push forward, and let's change that disc attitude and put it lower on the horizon. Right there, that's good. It's going to want to come up, so keep it there. Keep pushing forward. Good. Now the power's going to come down to cruise power. And the pedals come in with a little bit of right pedal.
Traffic less than 156.
Do you want to take the collective as well? There's not too much to do there. I'm going to help over the throttle. But if you want to take all three controls, alright. For now, we're all set up power-wise, and a Bell 47 generally cruises about 70 miles an hour at 20 inches of power. Okay. Well, we can get an airplane passing underneath us. Visual traffic, November Charlie's over Silverdale, 2,400 feet northbound. Another airplane. So right now it's 60, the aircraft's got a little bit of a climb to it, but if we nose that over to 70, it's preferred cruise speed. That's just one of 4 gauges we can use to let us know if we're level or climbing or extended. Airspeed
100 over tables, traffic on
BSI,
right wing, 30
and attitude indicator. A very central gauge because it gives us pitch and roll. Right on, this is a lot different than doing an intro with somebody that's never flown before.
Yeah. The posture is quite different, like how I'm sitting and holding everything.
Yeah, and the faster we go, every helicopter, the faster you go, the more the cyclic has to go forward. Because flatback's very noticeable at effective translational lift, but as soon as you go through that, you still continue to push forward in the cyclic the faster you go. So as we approach 75, 80 miles an hour, you're feeling that cyclic kind of get out there where it's not even comfortable anymore. That's where the helicopter slouch comes in handy. Now what I was thinking, there's a mountain to the right here, and it's very steep.
Yeah.
We'll saddle up to that and do a little bit of contour crawling. So we'll probably get within 1 or 2 rotor discs of that mountain. Notice that the collective itself is stiff.
Yeah.
Because this is hydraulically boosted, but this is not. So keep lowering the collective until it's less than 15 inches of manifold pressure. Now we know from aerodynamics, if you lower the collective, several things are going to happen. The disc is going to, nose is going to look left, the disc is going to try and look down, and the RPM is going to try and climb. But we can control all of that in a descent. Look at this, nice and smooth. Ooh-wee. You got me feeling pretty comfortable right now. Alright, actually I like this altitude for now. If you can use your collective just to hold us at about 650, 700 feet. Good wind sign on the water. Oh, it's a little bit confusing. I've seen it in 2 different directions already. But that log right there is your best wind sign. It's shiny behind the log, so those ripples are definitely coming this way. If there was a spot to land, this is the way we would take it in here. And we're about to find out if there is a spot to land. Because any slower than this, and we're hovering, so I'm just riding this out as long as I can. Power's decent, so nothing alarming about the power. That's right where you want to see it in a confined area. We're going to go Kirby cold to exploit that cold air. And I'm going to arrive in a pretty tall grassy spot. Now it might not be able to land. Oh, it is very wet, isn't it?
Be wet.
I'll protect the tail, but what you are going to feel how the aircraft I stopped pulling collective, it's found its ground effect at this point. And if there's a heel log or something we can exploit, with the tail rotor back here, possibly landing on this log. Oh, a couple logs, look at this, beauty. I'll be able to make this work. A couple old rotten logs. Blades are clear all around. You never would have known this was down here unless we came and had a sniff and looked for it. But with those skids, you can feel that we're balancing for sure. You could unload passengers here, I guess, if you had to. I think if I was going to try and shut down here, I want to be real sure about the logs, see if they're rotten or not. And I think I want to scoot forward about a foot. It feels like that heel's not quite supported, but we got business. We got stuff to do. So we're coming up here, Chris. Balancing on this log. We're gonna come airborne. I'm gonna protect the tail by basically leaving it in the spot it's at, and we're going out the same way we came in on this spot with very little wind. Gonna exploit that curve, be cold. You can see there's no wind here, so really I don't need a steep, powerful departure. I just need to get it through translational lift, and there it was. This aircraft's gonna fly away easily once you get it through translational lift. Right. Tell you what, you want to take control? Sure. Just kind of keep it with the theme of the river. We'll keep climbing, we'll get up out of here. 45 miles an hour would be ideal. Attitude, power trim, Kirby. 45. Now that we're in the mountains, we've lost our horizon, so attitude becomes much harder to judge. But with slightly aft cyclic, we'll climb better at 45 miles an hour. And we're going to do it climbing, right-hand turn. Nice. Oh, is that a helipad or a dock? Not a helipad. The blades will not clear that one post that's there. So let's keep this climbing right-hand turn going. We'll go to the other side of Stave Lake. Oh, I just had another idea though. The clouds are high enough we could actually scoot up and over into Norris Creek. Up to you. We can do an auto-rotation here, or we can get up there into Norris Creek, which is going to funnel us down to the confined area I want to do.
Yeah, let's go over there. And
we can still do an auto-rotation later. That's a better plan. We'll take it that direction towards the valley with the power lines. A bit more scenic. Go that way. It's flying, man. Now we can still fly away from this if we need to. There's the shutter translational lift just like before. We want to get it to that point because that allows us to get some power in. Still not committed to the spot. If we don't like what we see, don't like what we feel, we can still fly away from it. But we are getting a lot closer to a commitment point. 22 inches of power. Okay, no real big warning signs. In fact, there's a lot of ballooning that usually happens because the wind is coming up the slope beside us. And then slow and loaded, eh? Just control that momentum. That's the only thing we can really control in a helicopter is the momentum. Can't control the mass part of the momentum, but we can certainly control the speed part of the momentum. Okay, I'm looking at the disc all the way around. We're going to spot for the tail rotor. Got the branches on your side. Tail rotor should be in good shape. Yep, I like it. And we'll feel it on the ground. It's probably going to be a slope. Touch, touch, touch. Seating check. Get the aircraft to feel the full weight. Now you got that camera ready? Because the next part's probably going to be more impressive as we come up over this cliff here. So I'm just going to let the Kirby warm up a sec. And here we go. Fuel, temperatures, pressures, Kirby to cold. For performance, this will be an advanced no-hover takeoff into a bit of a dip down the hill. There we go. Okay, we're performing. We got good power. And we're already unloading the power and letting it fly away at this point. Piece of cake. Notice that it's not falling. It's just not climbing. It doesn't need to. So this will be a practice engine fair. I got control and eyes up in 3, 2, 1, boo. It's doable, and the height velocity diagram will say, you know, a Bell 47 at 0 wind, 5-foot hover, you're going to be able to do an inch fair in the hover. But if you start taking that up to 10 feet,